After nearly 150 years, the legacy of UCAN's commitment to building strong youth and families in Chicago was well established. Yet, when it was time to build a new campus to provide community-based services and programs, UCAN decided to raise the bar by moving to North Lawndale, which has seen its share of difficulty over the last 50 years. The plan? To construct a $40 million campus, a beacon of hope in North Lawndale. And that plan? It worked.
It's a beautiful location. It beautifies the area, really, to see the greenery and the beautiful buildings and stuff going on here. Something that hasn't been going on for years, so it's a positive in the community.
The insight at the foundation of UCAN's ambition was that human-serving organizations can do more for their communities than provide programs.
I think there was some resistance in the beginning to who is UCAN, what are they going to do here in this community, and to really, before they broke ground, to really start to say, we want to help this community, we want to hire people from this community, we want to know the churches in this community, who are the leaders in this community.
For us as an organization, beyond the programs that we run, we wanted to come in and change the conversation, change the narrative all the way around, and we wanted nonprofits, along with ourselves, to really focus hyper-local and to look at ways that we could build the local business economy.
If UCAN had only realized its plan to relocate to North Lawndale, its achievement would have been remarkable enough. But UCAN believed there was more.
The big time when we had an opportunity was when we made the decision to move our headquarters and main campus, and this was a large project, ended up being over a $40 million project. And at that point, we really recognized if we made a commitment, and a big commitment, to supplier diversity, that we could really make a big impact.
We had to think about, if we're going to move to North Lawndale, how do we spend our dollars when we build this building and move in this community? So it looks like we're thinking about the vendors, the suppliers, the contractors who could work on this building, and so it became very intentional about how do we make sure there's a supplier diversity program that engages the community in the marketplace.
UCAN's Strategic Community Relations Initiative upped the ante on its role in advancing equity in its new community. Not only a worthy ideal, but a set of specific and ambitious minority supplier spending targets, injecting resources and offering employment opportunities for North Lawndale residents.
And at the end of the day, through a lot of hard work and some ups and downs, we ended up with more than 60.2% of our spend with minority and female-owned suppliers, more than $22 million across 60 different contractors and subcontractors. That's something that we're really proud of.
$22 million in a community that had heard a lot of promises over many years, but seen little action. And that construction project was just the beginning. UCAN quickly became the 6th largest employer in North Lawndale, and its supplier diversity efforts continue to provide real economic impact. As great as that sounds, the full economic impact is even greater.
Younger people to want to get involved and to grow and to develop and to keep everything kind of in our communities so that we can expand and grow as a community.
In North Lawndale, UCAN's commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion is producing real economic benefit, and results matter. But it's UCAN's continuing intent that keeps pushing forward.
Now we have to look at how do we make this, more consistent throughout the organization, where we spend our money with, for our catering events, how do we spend money on our smaller construction projects, and really set forth kind of more clear policies and procedures around this, tracking systems around this, and then really the encouragement of our entire team members on the importance and value of supplier diversity.
That organization-wide commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion extends all the way to the UCAN Governing Board, where the commitment is endorsed as part of the long-term vision.
The biggest challenge is it never ends. You're always having this conversation, and there are going to be ways that you sort of overlook at times that you have to come back to, but it never ends because there's always some new issue that will hit the table with things that you haven't thought about, things that you haven't considered. The environment or the community will change, and so you've got to constantly be thinking about this.
So I don't think it's really complicated. I think it's just simple. Just get out of your comfort zone, go into these other areas, and have conversations.
It may not be surprising that an organization with the tradition and legacy of UCAN would have a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, but realizing equity, diversity, and inclusion as an engine of economic growth in their community is an innovation and a shining example of impact.